Life in prison has been tough. 15 years, but I think I made the best of it. Met a lot of new people, met a lot of new friendships, but I'm a changed man. The person I was before I came here, I'll never be again. Despite what they say, I can't control someone's opinion on me. I'm the only one that knows I didn't do it. But that's the way it'll always be. Perhaps I'll never be able to explain it.
Adnan Syed, convicted of the premeditated murder of Hae Min Lee, is hereby sentenced to life in prison.
Hey, can I have a ride? Best Buy. Yo, Jay.
Yo.
I killed that bitch. Come get me, I'm at Best Buy.
Alright. Oh shit.
Don't worry about it, man.
I don't know, man. This is sketchy. Come on, just be quick.
Here, buy this bottle. Whoop it, then bury her later. Let's get this over with.
Or is that what really happened? Hi, I'm Sean Koenig, and this is Serial. This is the case of Adnan Syed, a normal teenager turned convicted killer at the age of 17. But this is not your average murder case. For starters, this was set in your average Maryland high school, just like yours. It is based upon a regular high school relationship gone wrong, or what seems to be. Jaded with fog, this case is the subject of great controversy, as you will soon understand.
All we want is an explanation.
Alright, I'll come clean.
So who did it?
It was Adnan.
Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, there is someone that has to be formally introduced. Someone whose role is so fundamental that this case could not exist otherwise. This is Jay Wilds. He's a 33-year-old man, happily wed with a family, and lives in Maryland. But 16 years ago, he went to the same school as Adnan and is close with both him and Hae. Jay, we have a few questions to ask you. Is that alright?
Yep.
Okay, so what happened on the day of the murder?
Well, I mean, I talked about this, during the court case. I think we've established everything, just been trying to move on, The fact that Adnan still hasn't accepted it, it's unbelievable, but, what are you going to do? I hear some people are in denial, so they can't accept what happens, so, it is what it is.
Now, how would you describe your high school relationship with Adnan?
Well, we chilled a bit and we'd smoke every now and then, but we weren't really friends. My girlfriend Stephanie, she was in the magnet program with him and Hae, his girlfriend, so, we'd chill every now and then, but I wouldn't say we were close or anything. It was just a guy I knew from back then.
So if you describe Adnan as more of an acquaintance than a friend, How could you have helped him out with such a crime?
Wow, that is just another question. So, I mean, you know, I had no idea what was going on. Before I knew it, I was just in on it, right? I mean, if I went and told the cops or fled from that, there was no, like, he wouldn't hesitate to hand me over for dealing drugs or all other activities, you know. I wasn't a perfect kid back then. I mean, I'm still not a perfect guy, but, so, I just couldn't get out of it, I guess, so.
Describe your relationship with Hae Min Lee.
I mean, we had mutual friends. I'd see her every now and then. We went to a party or something, but we didn't really talk. I mean, just knew her through Stephanie, and she seemed okay, I guess. I mean, I can't say anything. We didn't really talk, so.
Stephanie, she was your girlfriend at the time, right?
Yep.
And did she have anything to do with this crime?
No, I mean, Stephanie, she was a great girl. She was my girlfriend, and she didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, she was just going through her own thing. It's just, I mean, I guess I have her to thank for getting me in all this mess, but I mean, she didn't do anything, so.
The thing that really gets me about Jay is the inconsistencies in his story development, as he leaves some things out and adds other things in later. And it can't just be a slip of the tongue. Jay was involved in this murder both directly and indirectly. But how can I be so sure he's telling the truth when he has so many inconsistencies in his story? I'm now going to go off to talk with Adnan to hear about his conflicting opinions with Jay about this case. How do you feel about Jay's constant accusations against you for the murder of Hae Min Lee?
I mean, I think it's pretty childish that he can't just accept his own responsibility. I mean, we all know he was involved with this murder. Who knows? I mean, he did it, really, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, whether you guys believe me or not, it wasn't me. But Jay putting the blame on me is just consistently, I don't understand why I can't come clean, give a whole, full, truthful story to you guys, and everybody asking to the story and the development. And I think he just needs to get over it.
How did you deal with the breakup between you and Hae?
I think it's just like any other. Me and Hae, we were a thing for a while, but I mean, slightly off and on. And in the end, of course, I felt a little bit of something. Obviously, she did too, but there's nothing crossed my mind of killing her or anything like that. Like, sure, we were still kind of friends after. I mean, I went on, saw other girls. I was with other people. So was she. I was still friends. We still kept in touch, kept in contact. There's never any original idea, thought process of, I'm gonna kill her.
We asked a whole bunch of your high school friends what they thought about how you took the breakup between you and Hae. Now, all of them said that you took it well, just like any other regular high school teenager, except for Jay. Does that alarm you?
No, not at all, actually. Simply because it's the truth. Everyone that knew me and Hae all knew us personally, knew us well, knew how we handled our relationship and everything. Knew that, like I said, it was like any other. It was completely normal, completely fine. So when you ask if that alarms me, doesn't at all. Jay, I mean, what can I say?
I mean, Adnan was completely fine after the breakup. I mean, we'd go to parties, he'd hook up with other girls. I mean, Hae and Adnan were still in touch after they broke up. I don't know what Jay is talking about.
So if Jay was the only one who saw the breakup differently, then what exactly did he think of it?
Adnan sacrificed everything for Hae, you know, his religion, which is, in his culture, a big part of his life, so when she left him, it really tore him up inside. He felt like all the time he'd spent trying to be with her was now useless, right? So I think that's what drove him over the edge. I think that's what made him do it.
Adnan was supposedly vengeful after the breakup, according to Jay. And keep in mind that the state has alleged and maintained this must have been a premeditated act, which means that Adnan would have had to plan and plot this murder. Now keep that in mind. Our next point of interest is the discrepancies we found in the state's timeline. Just to prove to you how screwy the timeline was, here Serial took the initiative to put one of the major time intervals of this case to the test. This is the crucial 21 minutes the state claims Adnan took to leave school, get in his car, drive to Best Buy, and kill Hae. We're just about to leave the school. The buses are just finishing clearing out. We're up to about 10 minutes here. We'll have to hurry it up if we want to verify this timeline. We're just arriving at the Best Buy here. We're approaching 19 minutes. In order for this to be valid, Anon would have had to manual strangulate Hay, which takes approximately 1 minute, put her body in the trunk, and go over to the payphones within about 3 minutes, which seems very unlikely, almost impossible. Essentially, there was no margin for error incorporated in the state's timeline. That means that Adnan would have had to be absolutely flawless in his execution of his plan, and then everything out of his control would have had to work in his own favor. Now I want to touch on the Best Buy payphone that was briefly mentioned in our test drive. Lucky for us, we got our hands on the original blueprint from 1999 of the Best Buy, and there appeared to be no payphone located there. This surrounds yet another major component of this case in fog. Although there are many things that entail Adnan's innocence, there are a few key factors that may change your opinion on if he's guilty or not. There is one call in particular that has always stood out as perhaps the most incriminating piece of evidence against Adnan. We're going to call it the Nisha call. This was an outgoing call to a person that only Adnan knew, and he constantly claims that he didn't have his phone at this time. Keep in mind, this call was 2 minutes and 21 seconds, and was at a time where Adnan said that Jay had both his car and his phone. Now, considering the length of this call, it seems unlikely that Jay was on the other end of it, which is one of the state's pillars in the case against Adnan Syed. There has been much speculation about this call. Maybe it was a voicemail or a butt dial, combination of both. People have even said that maybe Jay made this call to make it sound like Adnan did it, to further frame him, but the question still persists. It seems we've reached a point of conclusion. I could try to take a stab at this verdict, as I have been doing for the past year, but the honest truth is, I don't know. Most of the time, I think he didn't do it. For big reasons, like the lack of evidence against him, or for little reasons, like why on earth would a guilty man let me do these constant interviews with him? So please, don't tell me Adnan was a nice guy. Don't tell me Jay was scared, and don't tell me about some 5-second phone call. Just tell me the facts, because we didn't have them 15 years ago, and we still don't have them now.